Yesterday, the big event was NVIDIA, and we did get a very interesting report. They beat earnings on the top and bottom line, better than expected earnings, better than expected revenues, and the stock dropped. Why? Well, actually, I need to pull up the stock box for this because it is really critical. I know we don't talk a lot about stocks on this channel, but NVIDIA kind of takes precipice over most things because it is really important to the state of market psychology, right? If you're talking about NVIDIA, which is the pinnacle, the flagship leader of the AI trade, which has been dominant in markets. If you are watching any of that, NVIDIA matters to you. Even if you don't trade stocks or NVIDIA, we need to talk a little bit about the earnings that came in last night. So if I go to my earnings report tracker, I don't know that it's going to have NVIDIA's latest data. It might, but oh, it did. Look at that. Oh, heck yes. Oh, heck yes. Wait, that's awesome. Okay, our software is kind of beast mode, guys. Get the stock box. Holy crap. Okay, so stock box already pulled in the latest reported quarterly earnings here. The stock box, I know some people are like, wait, what's the stock box? I've never heard of this before, which kind of breaks my heart because the stock box is something I care a lot about. It's just like the Edge Finder, but it's all around stocks. So if you're a stock and options type of person, get the stock box. It's really cool, and it's got a lot of cool stuff that's been built to it recently. Anyways, what I want to show you guys here is look at this. Why did NVIDIA drop after putting up good numbers? Why? Well, if you watched my video yesterday, this is what I warned about. Now, I'm not going to try and take claim like, oh, I knew NVIDIA was going to drop. But no, I'm not that YouTuber. I don't know what, markets are going to do with any certainty tomorrow. All I can do is trade what I see happening today. Okay, so with that said, why did NVIDIA drop on good numbers? Well, it's because there's a ton of hype. Everyone expects NVIDIA to do really good. And so what we're looking at here on your screen right now is the earnings report tracker by the stock box. Essentially, it shows you the green bar. If you're familiar with the Edge Finder, then this will make a lot of sense to you. The green bar is the earnings per share number that came out, their earnings reported numbers, right? The yellow line is the expectation of what the market thought we were going to get. Okay. And so what you can see here is that for the last 5 quarters here that we've tracked, yes, the NVIDIA shares or earnings per share has beaten expectations. But this second graph down here helps to show the story. NVIDIA has been beating estimates for a long time now. Everyone expects NVIDIA to put up some rock star numbers and really to impress and dazzle investors. That's why the stock is up a bajillion%. But yesterday we had data points that came, or the earnings came in with just a 4% beat overall. Now, again, for most stocks, you beat your earnings. All right, pretty good. Nice. For NVIDIA, no. Everyone already knows it's a great company and makes $1 bajillion a second. Everyone already knows that. To get the stock to move higher after it's had a massive run up, you gotta really show some impressive numbers. You get a bigger beat, the market might actually get surprised. 4% beats, as crazy as it sounds, is not enough to impress the market. Roberto, my friend in the chat, says Stockbox is the best. Thank you so much. You have no idea, like when people are like, oh, I love this feature of this software, it like warms my soul because we work so hard to build this stuff. And so when people are actually like loving and using and bettering their trading and investing because they have our tools, it genuinely is a really cool experience and feeling. So thank you. I appreciate that. So yes, Stockbox, the earnings report tracker just shows you, do companies tend to beat their performance, and by how much, right? So what we can see is that NVIDIA beat, yes, but it was the low end of a beat in the last many years, actually. And that is why NVIDIA did not have some sort of big pop to the upside. Now, to its credit, NVIDIA didn't really gain or lose anything. The stock's up tremendously. If you've been holding NVIDIA, you've done really, really well. Guys, if you had Now, this is a big if, and I know that this stuff can drive people crazy, but just go with me for a second. If you had the insight to buy the stock at the very low point, you doubled your money in 140 days. You doubled your investment. That's crazy. So when you have a stock that doubles, do you think the expectations for that stock are high or low? Obviously very high. So I know not everybody trades stocks here, and I get that, but it matters to the indices. What do we take away from the NVIDIA earnings that came in? Well, what it tells me is that you still have huge demand for semiconductors. We didn't have an earnings miss, right? If you had an earnings miss, the stock would be plummeting right now, and so would the rest of the market. We didn't get that. We got numbers that were slightly better than expected, but not enough to really dazzle the market and move things higher. So where does that leave us? With a so-so response. We beat, but just narrowly. Or I'm sorry, we beat, but not by enough to really excite the market. If you had seen a 10% beat or 11% beat, 12% beat, stock would be popping and the market would probably rip. If you had seen a miss, the stock market would probably drop hard. So what we got was sort of a mixed, in terms of a bigger picture macro standpoint from NVIDIA, we kind of got a mixed response.
Market analysis, free trading courses, edge finder data, and special offers. What do these things all have in common? They're all available for you right now inside of our free Discord. You can click the link down in the description below to join the free Discord today and get access to all of this and more. Stay up to date with all the latest trading information and A1 content. And if you want to upgrade to our Gold VIP Discord that features every single trade that Trader Nick and our other professional analysts take, you can find the links for that in the description as well. So don't wait, go check out the free Discord today.
All right, so we have unemployment claims dropping as well as preliminary GDP. Both matter quite a bit to the market. Let's see what we get. Preliminary GDP came in at 3.3%. That is better than expected there. Nice strong beat there. And unemployment claims came pretty much in line at 229,000, though technically that is slightly lower than expected. So good economic reads here this morning. That is good for, we would imagine, the dollar. Did that push silver and gold down a little bit? I would imagine. Dollar's up just a little bit. Not a huge move. Russell is slightly lower, off the idea that if the economy is okay and jobs look okay, the Fed may feel less pressed to cut interest rates. Remember that Russell is really sensitive to interest rates. So is the dollar. So dollar up, Russell down, gold little soft off of that. S&P 500 mixed, makes sense. GDP is always a little tricky with stocks. You want strong growth, but if you get too much strong growth, they won't cut rates. And then the stock market's like, hey, we want rate cuts. And they start crying. And okay, so there's the silver trade. Little bit of a muted pullback here in response to that. NASDAQ is looking okay here. Here's your 15-minute chart. An hour to go until the New York session opens up. S&P 500, little mixed here. Russell 2000, a little muted. Why am I in the silver trade? How am I managing it? So I took this trade yesterday, which, again, the entry here ended up being pretty picture perfect. We came down to this level of support. Price came down, wicked into this area, bounced off, came back one more time, and I bought right there. And we turned around. We are back to the highs. I'm very curious to see how we react here. I have my stop loss. I do not have a take profit on this trade. So if you're new to the channel, the way I manage trades is I trail stops. So, or at least my momentum trading style. I have a couple different strategies that I use for options. I trade Forex and I trade, commodities and indices as well. And for commodities and indices, what I typically will do with a trade is I will have a stop loss and I will usually trail it. If we get some sort of move. Now, what I'm looking for personally on silver here is to see if we can actually break and stay above this area. At that point, And I think, again, I could be wrong, but so far I'm right. We'll see if I still am right. I think that the silver market, the gold market, metals in general have more room to expand higher. And so if I think that the silver market is going to move higher, I don't want to tighten my stop here. I don't want to put my stop right here. I'm not fearful at whatsoever of what could happen in this trade. Some might say, well, Nick, what if this thing drops all the way down and tags you out for a loss? Then so be it. I've been trading for almost 10 years. I can take some heartache. Don't you even worry about it. It happens sometimes, actually. And it could happen on this trade. You could get a sharp reversal and all the profits that I've made could go away. They're all unrealized profits. Why? Why would I not just lock something in? Well, because there's always a price to pay in trading. If I trail this stop and I put it right here, what if it just does this? Boop, boop, right? Did it really show me signs that the market was reversing hardcore just because it pulled back a little bit? No, markets don't move in one direction. They move in waves. They have pullbacks. They have breakouts. I think the general path of silver is higher. I don't want to get in the way of general path. What does general path mean? General path means I think it's going to move higher, but I don't know exactly every single candle what it's going to print. I just think, not based on my emotions, but based on my system. Silver, which was a trade setup that popped in the edge finder yesterday, should continue higher. I think the direction is higher. I agree with this consensus from the edge finder, showing me that sentiment, technical, and economic data generally agree that the path of least resistance is potentially a weaker dollar and stronger gold and silver. So if that is my bias, does that mean that it's going to move every single candle in my direction? It's going to be a clean slate and then it's going to be easy? No, trading is hard. Trading is hard because, again, the markets they can chop around. There's a lot of difficulty in predicting what's going to happen, especially the lower time frame you get, the harder it is to predict in my experience and opinion. So here's the thing. When it comes to silver, I have the trade on, my stop is below. What I'm looking for is a break above. If it breaks above, then I will lock in my stop, probably right around here where we had this kind of nice intraday turnaround in the Asian session, right? That'd probably be a good spot where I would trail that stop. I would just like to give this thing room because it might come down and retest that area before it does that. Or again, I could have a heartbreak trade where we have that situation, and it has happened and it will happen again to me. It is part of trading. Trading is not about this trade or the next trade or the trade after that. It's about the next 10,000 trades you're going to place. Do you have an edge and do you manage risk within that?
What about the dollar? Dollar is actually losing a bit of value in the last few days. It has been going a bit bearish, but nothing significant. We didn't have any massive sell-offs like we got with these two, or let's say these bearish candles. I would say that I'm a bit neutral / bearish long term. So currently I'm a bit neutral and I'm waiting for more data releases. So I'm waiting for NFP, CPI, and PPI, and then I will have more clarity about the rate cuts. So that is what is on the radar. I don't have a clear reading on the dollar right now, but once we get more data released, I should get a nice reading. So as far as my positions go, euro dollar is an interesting one because I did get stopped out for a loss on my personal IC markets, but on my prop firm accounts and on my Darwin X account, I'm actually still in this trade. So it has gone all the way from touching the stop loss. Depending on your broker, maybe you're still in, maybe you got taken out. And now it's all the way back to almost break even. So this is a pretty weird position. Right now it's just being flat, just being range bound. They had a question in the A1 Discord. So what's the game plan? Am I holding this trade? Am I closing this trade on my prop firm accounts? The game plan is to just trail this position if it does go to the upside. So I got taken out on the personal, that's okay. Still in on some other accounts, and I'm gonna trail my position to the upside if it does decide to continue up. I also may take some of the position off at this high. So if the current scenario gets a bit stale, which right now it kind of did, I'm not sure what is going to happen with the dollar. So maybe I will also take some of the profits off if we do hit this level. I'm still thinking about it, still looking at all the factors, still looking at all the confluences. And if we do get up here, hopefully we do, I may take some profits. So that is the euro dollar position. Then we have the euro GBP, which is in drawdown but has kind of recovered. It's the same thing as euro dollar, just ranging around. And as far as I can see, we got some breaking news. We got some ECB minutes, which could signal possible rising inflation, which is of course hawkish, which is of course bullish for the euro. So that may be pushing the euro to the upside for today. And the game plan for the euro GBP trade is to just keep holding this position, keep trailing my stop loss. Okay, so that's the game plan for euro GBP. Oh, and let's see the edge finder. Is it on the list? Is it on the list? No, so it's gonna have a neutral reading. I mean, technical analysis would be bullish, although we are now sort of stuck at this major level of resistance right here. Not my favorite pair. Definitely not my favorite pair. I think CAD yen actually looks a bit better. If you want to take a look at JPY pairs, CAD yen, is it CAD yen? Let me see. On the edge finder. Yeah, CAD yen getting a bearish reading, kind of moving lower here. Respecting the 20 MA, kind of going a bit lower. So I think if you want to go yen, CAD yen may be a bit of a more interesting play. GJ right now, kind of corrective. Whoop. JPY. So GJ, fundamentals are neutral as I mentioned, and it looks a bit corrected right here. And the problem is it's stuck at a major level of resistance. That's, I would say, the major issue, the main issue, stuck at a major level of resistance. Let me also check on the euro CAD. I did have a trade on that one as a bit of a hedge. Okay, so took me out and going lower. That's okay. Happens. Okay, let's see. CAD yen. Yeah, okay, CAD yen, as I mentioned, bearish. Maybe a good play to look for sell setups. Not on my watch list right now, so I'm not actively looking to sell CAD yen. I'm just pointing out CAD yen as being an interesting JPY pair. Okay, let's see. GJ, so we covered. Swiss yen. That's an interesting one. Swiss yen. Let's see. CHF JPY. Is it on the edge finder? No, so it must be neutral. This is only filtered for the things that are not neutral. Swiss yen, it's flat in the short term. So definitely flat in the short term. Overall in an uptrend. In a huge uptrend, actually. Yeah, this has just been crushing higher. Damn. This is a pretty nice chart. So maybe a bit of a pause. Maybe a bit of a pause here before the Swiss continues. We will see.
Aussie yen, which I took last Thursday, so just gone a week in this position. Looking all right, to be fair. We've seen some nice momentum. It is quite corrective, and we are stuck at the upper end of this channel, so I do worry if price is gonna potentially bleed and see some downside there. But in terms of the trade, it's what I expected. I'm looking to buy off the low of the channel in well, hopefully with the expectation that we do break to the upside. But if price does potentially reject here, I have managed to trail my stops just above break even, so I will walk away with pretty much break even, but maybe a very small win. Didn't mean to do that. So in terms of the management, I think risk has definitely been reduced. I think it depending on how the market is moving, I will hopefully look to trail as we progress, but we do need to break through that up end of the channel and really get going. At the moment, we're quite corrective, so it's a bit 50-50. We could see price take a downturn. Yen is not really weak. I've had a keen eye on what the yen is doing. Really flat. We do need to kind of get a move on if the yen pairs are going to start moving. and recently entered the trade in New Zealand CAD. Not really liking the way this one's moving. Again, I hopped into this trade at the lows here, expecting momentum to continue, expecting price to really see a continuation of that drop last week after the NZD news. Had a lovely breakout of support, nice retest, nice break of the counter trend line as well. Had some really impulsive candles, hopped into the back of that, stops above the level there, and looking for continuation. If price does break through resistance here, I probably would just close the trade early and take the small loss in the position, because a big part of me entering this market, entering this trade, was that momentum is likely to continue, and of course we're not quite seeing that yet. So if price is going to come back and retest resistance, I might as well just exit the trade, look to see what we do here. Things look good again, I'll rather re-enter with momentum back in my favor and with the likeliness that price is going to continue in my direction. And of course price may even want to break higher. There's a couple levels which I've been looking to short New Zealand CAD from this week, this being one and this supply zone being a second. So if this doesn't hold, I will have reattempts at that area as well. I'm pretty bearish on the pair. Reason being, looking at the higher time frames, I do think price has taken a very slow tumble to the downside, back into lows here, back into lows there, are kind of my target. So the fact that we did get a really nice break of structure, breakout of this support level, is what piqued my interest. But momentum looks to be very, very sluggish at the moment. We're not breaking through the lows as I anticipated. So yeah, I probably will exit the trade if I do see price starting to poke its head above resistance there, and just look for re-entries later on. But yeah, those are the two positions that I'm in. Haven't been particularly active, to be honest. A lot of markets have been sideways. DXY has just been horrendous, to be honest. Just back and forth, back and forth. I've been looking for opportunities for some buys in the dollar. I haven't really found them. And yeah, as of now, we're still kind of respecting highs, respecting lows. So in terms of USD pairs, I haven't really been active in the past couple of weeks. I've been waiting for some opportunities to buy dollar, especially on breakout of this kind of resistance area, but that didn't happen. And now we're pushing back into support. And of course, if USD is going to be bearish, I would like to see price break through those lows. And if that does happen, then yeah, I would expect USD to return to the lows there. So yeah, it's been pretty flat, and not looking to get involved in any USD pairs really. Again, I'm more of a swing trader, so I'm not so interested in the intraday moves of USD pairs. I'm not saying there's no opportunities, but from a swing bias, which is where my interest is, until we kind of make a decision which way we're going to go, up or down outside of this range, I'm being very conservative with looking to trade any USD pairs at the moment. Hey, what's up, Ashley? Welcome to the stream. Good to see ya. I took profit in Aussie yen. Okay, cool. Exactly, because of that range, we are still in August. True, September, yeah. We could do, yeah. Yeah, we'll take a look at gold as well, no problem. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Again, really corrective price action. Price could very much bounce and see a push to the downside. It's anyone's guess at this moment in time. I mean, the lack of momentum, you probably would favor a push down actually, rather than price breaking to the upside. Probably need some yen or Aussie news to really get the ball rolling if we are going to break to the upside. But I'm happy with how I manage my position. So if it does come back down against me, I'll walk away with the break even, to be honest. But you know, closing the trade there, I think makes perfect sense as well. I'm hoping for the bigger winner, but we'll see if we actually do get that move. As for gold, again, not really my favorite pair as of late. Probably for the past couple of months, really. Gold's just been really flat, and I've been trying to stay far away from it. And yeah, until price kind of at least makes a move back to resistance, or at least makes a move back to support. And by resistance and support, I mean the top of the range or the bottom of the range, not just any level of resistance or support for that matter. Then I'll be interested. Or of course, price does make a breakout, then of course I'll be interested with that as well. We are at some resistance now, which we may see some downside from. I'm looking at the price action for silver. It looks pretty flat to me. Really corrective there on the way out. We're not really seeing much conviction. So perhaps we can see a bit of a move down, but I'd rather wait for price just to approach the high of the range rather than look to try and get some shorts here, because I know this is more of a significant area of resistance and probably provides a better probability in terms of actually catching a move down. So yeah, I'd rather wait for price to actually push to 34.30 before looking for opportunities for a short. And likewise, opportunities for a buy, I'd wait for around 32.60. Of course, there's some support here which we may bounce from. But particularly, I just like operating right at the high, right at the low of the range, because those are the best places, at least in my opinion, when you are looking to trade ranging markets, sideways markets. I don't want to get caught in the middle. But of course, gold long term is still very much in an uptrend. You know, we still are convincingly bullish, but we are in a phase of sideways. We are in a phase of consolidation right now, and it is pretty much 50-50 which way we do break out. You know, we could break to the downside, see maybe a bit of a top form, and we could speak about some pullback opportunity on the way down. Likewise, if you do break to the upside, well, the trend is bullish again, and we're looking to try and continue. Maybe that 4K, infamous 4K, is still very much on the cards. But until we do make that breakout, it's very much just looking to short highs and looking to buy lows with gold. I'm trying to stay away from the intraday fluctuations. I wouldn't say pound USD is any better as well. This looks really flat to me as well. We've got a really significant level of resistance running through the market here. Significant support, sorry. We've got significant resistance above us here. And again, until price makes a move above the highs or below these lows, I'm pretty neutral there with pound as well. We've got swing highs up there, swing lows up there. Depending which way we break, we'll decide which target I'm looking at. Of course, if you do break to the downside, I'm very much looking at a move like this. If you break to the upside, I'm very much looking at a move like that. In here, it's tricky to understand what price is actually doing. It looks like it's fluctuating because despite the fact we're seeing strength in these candles, despite the fact we're seeing really aggressive, bullish, engulfing candles, we're not seeing any conviction. Again, here you can see another big, strong, bullish, engulfing candle. Price is now stalling, throwing some wicks to the upside. So momentum is a little bit deceiving here. You know, typically, when you see these big candles driving price higher, you like to see price continue because it's kind of like, okay, the bigger players in the market buying up or selling a particular market. And now we're seeing that kind of momentum kick in. Despite the fact we're seeing strength here, we're not really seeing signs of continuation. And that's because we are quite flat for pound. And of course, dollar's flat as well. So there's a lot of indecision right now is the key point. So which is why I think waiting for something like this or waiting for something like this will provide a lot of clarity in terms of direction for the dollar pairs. And at the moment, don't really have that at the moment. So I'm pretty, not neutral, but I'm just sitting on my hands waiting patiently for USD to develop. And JPY hasn't been any better as well. If I have a quick look at the basket for the yen, which is what I kind of use in similar fashion to the DXY for the dollar, this has been very, very flat as well. In fact, if I go to the daily chart, it kind of summarizes price a little bit better. Very, very flat over the past kind of month or so. Yeah, since kind of early July, so a bit more than a month. We haven't really gone anywhere. So JPY, a bit flat here. Will JPY break higher? Possibly. Break lower? Possibly. I think we only know those questions when price actually makes the move. And then that will pick the direction for the yen, maybe for the next few days, maybe a couple of weeks. And the yen pairs will start to look a little bit better. But a lot of the yen pairs are very, very flat. Looking at GJ, don't know what this one's doing. Horrendous price action. As of late, this looks like another range to me. You could probably argue that kind of ranging over here a little bit as well. So yeah, I wouldn't be getting too excited to trade GJ and some other yen pairs. Of course, I am in Aussie yen, but that had a nice channel to trade.
Did you know we do a live trading show Monday through Friday with guests from all over the world? To get notified when we go live, click the bell button next to the subscribe button or check in at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have helpful, free content in the description below and on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you tomorrow.